Ready to break free from algorithms, vanity PR, and money-sucking ads? My name's Larissa Warstiak, and I've learned in 8 years of jewelry marketing that content is the crown jewel. My agency, Joy Joya, takes a holistic approach, leading with laser-focused storytelling, impactful content creation, and strategic content distribution. This method has worked for the solopreneur as well as the multi-million-dollar company, and now I'm sharing the same systems and tactics with you. Here's to standing out in the sea of sparkle. Welcome to episode 290. In today's episode, I want to tackle the question, what if you have more than one audience and target customer? Not every jewelry business's target customer fits neatly into one box. Oftentimes, you'll be speaking to customers who span multiple demographics, even if you serve a very specific niche, and crafting marketing messages that resonate across age groups, cultures, and preferences is both a challenge and an opportunity. And our goal as business owners and marketers in the jewelry industry is to recognize and value the differences among members of our target audience, bridging connections through understanding and respect. In this episode, I'll be exploring strategies to segment your audience, craft universal yet personalized narratives, and utilize platforms effectively to reach those varied demographics. You'll learn how to ensure your brand's voice is heard, understood, and cherished across the spectrum. But before we get to the solid gold, I'd like to take a moment to remind you that this podcast has both audio and video, so you can either listen on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube by searching Joy Joya. You can support the podcast for free by taking the time not only to subscribe, but also to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Also, if you didn't know, I co-host another podcast called Success with Jewelry with my friend Liz Kantner, who's also a jewelry marketer and the founder of the Stay Gold Collective. We have a free version of the podcast available everywhere you listen to podcasts and on YouTube, as well as a membership community with extended episodes and additional resources. I invite you to check it out if you're hungry for more content. Okay, let's get into today's episode, my sparklers. If you've struggled to hone in on your marketing message because you have a few different categories of customers, then this episode is for you. How do you speak to multiple demographics and customer personas at the same time without losing sight of your brand identity? I'll be tackling all that in this episode. So first, let us move beyond assumptions. Yes, when it comes to marketing to multiple audiences at the same time, moving beyond assumptions is necessary. Yeah, it's going to feel tempting to lean on your preconceived notions about your target customer profiles, but doing that will often lead you astray. Instead, you're going to want to directly engage with your audience and connect with customers who represent each of the different categories of that audience through avenues such as surveys, focus groups, feedback channels. Actively listen to their voices and gain insights into things like their preferences, purchase habits, and expectations. Your audience is not this one monolithic entity. And if you assume that, you know that saying, assume makes an ass out of you and me, right? That can get in the way of your brand being able to authentically connect with them on a personal level. I see jewelry business owners making a lot of assumptions when it comes to their marketing, and these are just a few. I don't look at my email marketing, so none of my customers look at their email marketing, or I don't like using social media, so social media isn't necessary for reaching our audience. I only read emails on desktop, so my customers only read emails on their desktop. Since I don't have issues with accessibility, then my customers certainly aren't using features like dark mode on their smartphones. I see a lot of sales around Valentine's Day and Christmas, so there's no need to push marketing at other times of the year. I love the luxury look and feel of our products, so our marketing should target high-income customers only. I think discounts cheapen the brand, so our customers must be willing to pay full price all the time. I could go on and on. Are you sick of me talking about assumptions yet? The common thread here is that many business owners make assumptions based on their own habits and preferences, and that can really get you in trouble and lead to a disconnect. And I do, since I mentioned the word accessibility and dark mode and assuming, the abilities people have in consuming content, I want to make a side note about ADA compliance. Trying to optimize for diverse devices, mobile, desktop, as well as user friendliness, as well as the different ways people need to see content on their devices, whether they're enlarging fonts, using dark mode, using some other kind of accessibility tool. If you're keeping those things in mind, even just general user friendliness, that reflects not only your commitment to inclusivity, but it also can expand your reach to a wider audience, including those with limitations or disabilities. All right, so if you can move beyond assumptions, what is the next step? You're going to want to be authentic and intentional. Authenticity should really be at the heart of your efforts to speak to multiple audiences at the same time. It's not enough for reaching each audience to be a checkbox on your agenda. No, it has to permeate every facet of your marketing efforts. And by authentically representing the myriad of identities within your audience, only then can you forge genuine connections that resonate on a deeper, more meaningful level. I think also cultural awareness can serve as a guiding principle in your marketing strategy. If you know that members of your target audience value and celebrate certain holidays, observances, and traditions that hold significance for them, you can demonstrate respect and deepen your connection with those people. And this awareness of what's important to your audience, don't just make it, again, like a surface level checkbox, okay, we covered this holiday or whatever. I think actively engaging with and learning from those diverse perspectives can enrich your understanding. And again, the goal is to connect authentically. Also, leveraging events, sponsorships, and partnerships, all those things can provide you with invaluable opportunities to introduce your brand to diverse groups in meaningful ways. When you're collaborating with organizations that reflect the various audiences you aim to embrace, you not only broaden your reach, but you also deepen your impact, foster genuine connections, and amplify your message in many different communities. For example, maybe you collaborate with a nonprofit that focuses on a social cause that is important to you and important to your target audience. That way, in a very real, tangible way, you can align your values with those of your customers and then deepen emotional connections and enhance brand loyalty. Also, by thinking outside the box with collaborations, that can yield surprising results. So partner with businesses that cater well to audiences you've traditionally struggled to reach, to open new doors and foster innovative approaches to marketing. So an example of that might be partnering with artists from diverse backgrounds to maybe create limited edition pieces. And this can attract their followers who may not have considered your brand otherwise. And such a collaboration can also highlight cultural stories or symbols that resonate deeply with different audiences and in a real, authentic way. By embracing unconventional partnerships and exploring untapped markets, then you expand your horizons and pave the way for inclusive, impactful marketing initiatives. All right, so next, know that different members of your audience engage with content and platforms differently. So recognizing the variety of channels through which different demographics engage with your content is crucial. Whether it's social media platforms, traditional marketing channels, or emerging digital spaces, your approach has to be adaptable and in touch with what people are actually using. So for instance, while some members of your target audience might prefer Instagram and use that a certain way, others may gravitate toward Pinterest and use that a certain way. And understanding the unique strengths of each platform, as well as the preferences of your audience on each one, is essential for tailoring your strategy effectively. You may also cater to individuals who maybe they don't engage heavily at all with social media. And then in such cases, adjust your approach by using alternative channels that they like. Maybe that's email, maybe it's text marketing, maybe it's print, maybe it's event marketing. Whatever you need to do to ensure you reach and engage with them effectively. So when it comes to speaking to multiple audiences, there are certain jewelry brands that struggle more with this than others. I think if you're a newer to market jewelry brand, this may be less of a challenge for you because you're just starting maybe with one audience, or you have more flexibility to speak to multiple audiences. I think heritage brands especially face these unique challenges in trying to stay relevant while honoring their legacy. So if you're out there and you are more of a heritage brand, you will definitely relate to this. I think Tiffany has notoriously struggled with this for years. They've been trying to attract new customers without alienating their existing ones. In 2021, for example, Tiffany's Not Your Mother's Tiffany campaign aimed to attract younger demographics, but ended up kind of offending older women, mothers, by alienating them and failing to appeal to the intended younger audience. And this really highlights a challenge of multi-demographic marketing, especially when it comes to the more luxury goods sector. Traditionally, not so much anymore, luxury goods buyers were older, established individuals. But with millennials and Gen Z showing a strong interest in luxury brands at earlier stages of their lives, and we're seeing that now. We're seeing that on the red carpet with the celebrities who are wearing and representing these heritage luxury brands. And now the brands face the dilemma of creating messages that resonate across different age groups and demographics without being too generic or disrespecting another target audience group. And the backlash that Tiffany faced, it really underscores the importance of thoughtful marketing strategies that appeal directly to the targeted demographics while maintaining brand appreciation among wider audiences. So as a lesson to you, even if you're not a heritage brand and you totally cannot relate to a brand like Tiffany, even so, when you're speaking to multiple audiences, it's so important not to alienate one audience in favor of another. Maybe not so hard when you're a newer to market brand because you're not fighting to stay relevant after many, many years of being in business, but it's something to consider and keep in mind. Be careful about how a message to one segment of your target audience may land with another. And the last important point I want to make is that marketing to multiple audiences doesn't mean you're marketing to everyone. It's important to understand that you're not trying to market to everyone. You're not casting a wide net for the sake of doing that. Your approach should still be thoughtful, intentional, and targeted. Although you may initially focus on specific groups, you may find that your target audience naturally expands to include more than one type of customer over time. And this ability to market to multiple audiences lies in genuinely understanding and embracing the diverse needs and desires of your audience. And it will require continuous learning, adaptation, and empathy. And as you strive to connect, resonate, and engage with the full spectrum of your audience, you'll embark on a path of growth and innovation in the ever-evolving landscape of marketing. So think about how you can create more impactful marketing strategies by being more authentic, while you're also contributing to a more equitable and empathetic society. So what do you think? Do you struggle with speaking to multiple audiences at the same time? Let me know in a comment on YouTube or DM me on Instagram. I'd love to chat about it.
All right, let's get into the gold mine. Welcome to another edition of the Gold Mine. This is a segment of the podcast where I get personal and share insights on entrepreneurship, mindset, success, growth, all things business. And in this week's Gold Mine, I want to offer a gentle reminder to help guide your jewelry brand toward its unique essence. Often I hear jewelry business owners expressing desires like, I want to emulate X jewelry brand more, or I wish my marketing resembled Y jewelry brand. It's kind of puzzling when I hear stuff like that because those brands are often vastly different from theirs. And it's kind of unclear if those strategies used by those other brands that they're hoping to borrow or emulate would even yield success, or even if they are yielding success for the other brand. We don't know. While drawing inspiration from others can sometimes be valuable, I strongly advise against modeling your jewelry brand and your approach to marketing after industry peers. Especially considering how crowded the industry is already, it's way more beneficial to carve out your own path. So instead of fixating on others, focus on amplifying what makes your brand distinctive. Personally, I find it sometimes helpful to disconnect from similar businesses and media for a while. Don't spend time looking at other jewelry brands on Instagram. And then by quieting the noise, you can tap into the essence of your brand, separate from any envy or comparison. Remember, customers won't choose your jewelry because it mimics another brand. They'll be drawn to you because of your uniqueness and the resonance of your mission and vision. And achieving this authenticity requires staying true to your core identity without diluting your message or straying from your purpose. I just wanted to share this brief reminder to encourage you to embrace your brand's individuality wholeheartedly. The world needs more originals and less copycats. So how can you be doing more of that? Let me know in an Instagram DM or YouTube comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you have any questions about today's episode? You can always email me Larissa, that's LARYSSA @joyjoya.com. If you love this podcast, please share it with a friend who'd appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe as well as leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're completely new to digital marketing, then you'll want to purchase and read a copy of my book, Jewelry Marketing Joy. Visit joyjoya.com/book for more information.